Where does then plant medicine come back into this
Mm-hmm.
exploration?
Mm-hmm. That's okay. Okay. Okay.
But I remember I started interacting with different energies.
As you still are part of the food chain. So if you know that you live in a place where there are animals that can eat you, it kind of changes your mindset a little bit.
Have you encountered other people with those goblins? Have you ever seen the goblins?
Awe of the stage of the progression where I'm at in this experience and what I'm able, how the beauty that I see this universe unfolding before in every moment.
For me, it's unbelievable. I agree. I've always thought I'm living life, but also life is living me.
So we're now pretty in the now. So Magdalena, besides, so I hardly ever changed my teacher, which is true also for my spiritual teachers. So Magdalena, a woman from Berlin with whom I did 98% of all shamanic journeys with ayahuasca, San Pedro, mushrooms, and Iboga, was offering like a shamanic training circle with kind of the same group of people that I knew now almost for whatever, 10 years or so. And in an odd sense, I was not attracted. I had this, well, I've done this so often, so why do it again? But there was a voice inside of myself that told me, well, like going again into the ceremonial setting after subjectively having done the work on myself will just educate me on better understanding what's the setting, what typology of people benefit from it. Also, since I've been working with different plants and also other chemical substances like MDMA, also trying to understand what typology of trauma, what typology of substance really helps people. Funny that I'm not applying this in my business yet, but separate rabbit hole. We can dive into that in Peru. There's just so many people who now all work as psychotherapists and healers and shamans. I don't know. At least not at this specific point in my lifetime, I don't feel called to doing that. So it was more almost the scientist inside of myself, like going again into a setting, but under a very different premise. Yeah.
And what plants came back? Where did you find yourself? Did ayahuasca come back? Was it San Pedro? Was it Iboga? What called you on this other side?
It's interesting because the upcoming weekend, literally the next weekend, I will work with the Virarica, so the guardians of the peyote. So I now throw peyote and San Pedro into one bucket, but I mean the psychedelic compound is masculine. So the way I also have a video where I recorded this, which I think it's coined the psychedelic experience. So I think different plants trigger different parts of your psyche or your chakras. So for me, working with Mother Ayahuasca is almost always just bowing down in front of the great mystery that ultimately it's all a big mystery. We don't know shit. It teaches me humility. It certainly also teaches us to die and to be reborn time and again, a blank slate. Usually then people, I think also you combine it with San Pedro, usually after grinding the ego, to then activate the hara, the solar plexus, the willpower. So it's a very masculine plant spirit. It teaches you directionality, benchmarks, goals in life, things you want to achieve, gives you, a very clear focus. So the complementarity of ayahuasca and San Pedro in, let's say, neo-shamanic settings, I don't think is a coincidence. Iboga, I don't feel called necessarily to do Iboga. I mean, I don't feel called to do any substance anyhow very deeply, but I think there will come a moment where I will do Iboga, but I feel like it's also now almost 14 years of work with these sacred sacraments, so to say. So it feels like a big cycle closing, and that cycle, I think that's good to riff over, to share also with your audience my experience in the darkness retreat, and to share like similarities and differences in the darkness retreat. I think that would be beautiful.